First up, Cuba's body of government, its National Assembly or Parliament, is scheduled to meet this week. It sits in full session for just 2 days each year, once in the summer and then in the winter, considering and passing laws. Its members are elected every 5 years, representing various parts of the Caribbean island. Since taking over the presidency from his ailing brother Fidel, Raul Castro has initiated a series of economic reforms. He is expected to discuss some of those reforms in a rare televised keynote speech during the session. The long-standing president of the parliament is Ricardo Alarcon. He was Cuba's ambassador to the United Nations during much of the Cold War, a time when tensions between the U.S. and Cuba grew into the trade embargo that continues today. At present, his country is experiencing some of the most dramatic changes in the past half-century. But it appears old animosities between the two countries are far from over. Our correspondent in Havana, Michael Voss, brings us this exclusive interview with Mr. Alarcon.
With Mr. Obama, there has been a change in the rhetoric, the language. He has been much more civilized or sophisticated than his predecessor. He did certain positive things regarding the traveling by Cuban Americans to Cuba. He promised during the campaign and he delivered. That's a positive thing. We recognize that. But I have to tell you that the same administration that showed that flexibility regarding one aspect of the problem has been very, very tough in implementing the embargo or the blockade, whatever you want to call it. He had imposed more fines to foreign companies for doing business with Cuba or to Americans for having violated the embargo laws that the previous administration.
Back in April, President Obama vehemently opposed Cuba's presence at the Summit of the Americas.
And I assure you that I and the American people will welcome the time when the Cuban people have the freedom to live their lives, choose their leaders, and fully participate in this global economy and international institutions. We haven't gotten there yet.
A position that Mr. Alarcon finds both amusing and somewhat disingenuous.
It is true that in Cuba there has been and there are going on right now very gross violations of human rights in the Cuban territory, but it's in the part of the Cuban territory occupied by the Americans. In Guantanamo Naval Base has been a universal scandal. The situation in that area, in that place, but that's not the issue. I don't like everything on the American society. We don't agree with a society where health care is a merchandise, that many millions are deprived from that service. We believe that health care is a human right. We believe that free education is also a human right. But we are not going to say, no, we won't have relations with you because you don't have free health care system.